Have you ever wondered why, even though you've been drinking milk your whole life, your bones feel weaker today than they did 10 years ago? Why your joints ache, your legs tire faster, and you find yourself asking, wasn't milk supposed to keep me strong? Here's the unsettling truth most seniors never hear. Not all milk is the same. In fact, some of the very milk cartons sitting in your fridge right now could actually be draining your bones of strength, inflaming your joints, and making muscle loss even faster after 60. That means every sip you take, thinking you're nourishing your body, might actually be quietly working against you. And here's where it gets even scarier. Studies have now linked certain types of milk to higher inflammation, reduced calcium absorption, and even increased risk of fractures. Imagine that for a second, drinking milk, yet still ending up with brittle bones, swollen knees, and legs that feel heavier every year. The heartbreaking part? So many seniors keep pouring the same milk into their morning coffee or cereal every single day, not realizing they're stacking the odds against themselves. But let me ask you something personal. If your doctor told you tomorrow that your bones had thinned so much you were one fall away from a hip fracture, wouldn't you wish you had known earlier which milks to avoid? Wouldn't you wish someone had warned you before it was too late? That's exactly why you cannot afford to miss what I'm about to share. Because in this video, we're exposing the 4 worst milks you should never touch after 60. The ones that make joint pain, swelling, and bone weakness worse, not better. And then we'll flip it on its head and reveal the 4 best milks you must drink daily. The ones proven to protect your bones, soothe inflammation, and even restore muscle strength naturally. This isn't about trendy diets or fads or scare tactics. It's about survival, mobility, and dignity. The difference between the wrong milk and the right one could literally be the difference between walking confidently on your own at 75 or sitting in a chair wishing you could still move like you used to. And here's where the guilt comes in. If you're still drinking milk just because of what you've always done, even though your body is crying out with stiffness, swelling, or weakness, then deep down you already know something has to change. But most people won't take action. Most will ignore the warning signs, pour another glass, and keep pretending it's not their problem, until one day it is. Don't let that be you. Stay with me, because before this video ends, you'll know exactly which milk choices are silently robbing your health, and which ones can help you feel strong, stable, and even youthful again. So let's begin, starting with the worst milk you should never touch if you're over 60. Let's start with a sneaky one most seniors don't even think twice about: flavored milk. At first glance, it looks innocent. After all, it's just regular milk with a little flavoring, right? Something that feels like a small treat. But behind that colorful carton or plastic bottle hides one of the biggest traps for anyone over 60. Here's why. Flavored milks are loaded with added sugars, sometimes as much as a can of soda. Imagine that. You reach for chocolate milk thinking you're getting calcium and protein for your bones, but what you're really swallowing is spoonful after spoonful of refined sugar that inflames your joints, spikes your blood sugar, and accelerates muscle loss. Studies show that excess sugar intake increases inflammation markers in the body. For seniors, that means more swelling in the knees, stiffer hips, and hands that ache when you try to grip something. But it doesn't stop there. Sugar also competes with calcium for absorption. So even though the milk itself could have given you calcium, the sugar blocks your body from using it properly. In other words, you drink flavored milk thinking it's helping your bones, and it ends up leaving them weaker. Now let's talk about blood sugar spikes. If you're over 60, chances are your body isn't as efficient at handling glucose anymore. That's why so many seniors struggle with prediabetes or full-blown diabetes. A single glass of flavored milk can cause a dramatic spike, followed by a crash that leaves you feeling tired, dizzy, and craving even more sugar. And if you're drinking this regularly, it's like placing your bones, joints, and muscles on a roller coaster they can't handle. The scary part? Flavored milk is often marketed as fortified or energy boosting. Some brands even target older adults, promoting it as a source of strength or quick snack. But strength doesn't come from artificial syrups and processed sugars. It comes from real nutrients, protein, calcium, magnesium, and vitamins that actually fuel your muscles and protect your bones. Here's something to reflect on. If you're pouring flavored milk into your morning cereal, into your coffee, or handing it to your grandchildren thinking it a healthy choice, you're not just hurting yourself. You're passing down the same trap to them. That's the hidden guilt no company wants you to think about. The choice you make at the grocery store isn't just about taste. It's about whether you're feeding your body strength or silently feeding the very inflammation that makes you weaker. And let's be brutally honest. When was the last time flavored milk left you feeling energized, strong, pain-free? Or did it leave you with a sugar rush, a little joint stiffness, and maybe even regret when you looked at the nutrition label later? The truth is, after 60, every choice counts. And choosing flavored milk, even just occasionally, isn't harmless. It's a slow drip of sugar and chemicals that chips away at the very foundation of your mobility. That's why it earns a number 4 spot on this list of worst milks you should never touch again. So, if flavored milk is hiding in your fridge right now, it's time to pour it out, because the next 3 are even worse. Now, if flavored milk was bad, sweetened condensed milk takes things to a whole new level of danger for seniors. This one might surprise you, because many people don't drink it by the glass, but they use it in tea, coffee, desserts, or even special recipes. And that tiny little can, it packs one of the biggest health traps in your kitchen. Sweetened condensed milk is basically regular milk stripped down and overloaded with sugar. In fact, it's so concentrated that more than half of its calories come from refined sugar. Think about what that means for someone over 60. You're not sipping a creamy treat. You're flooding your body with pure sugar disguised as milk. Here's the problem. As we age, our body's insulin response weakens. That means when you take in a high-sugar food like condensed milk, your blood sugar skyrockets, and your cells can't keep up. Over time, this increases your risk of type 2 diabetes, which is already one of the biggest silent threats for seniors. But it doesn't stop there. High blood sugar fuels inflammation, damages blood vessels, and accelerates aging in your muscles and joints. Let's focus on bones for a moment. Most seniors believe milk equals strong bones, but the sugar in condensed milk actually works against calcium absorption, meaning the calcium you think you're getting never really strengthens your skeleton. Instead, your bones continue to thin, your risk of fractures rises, and your joints ache under the strain of poor support. And what about weight gain? A tablespoon of sweetened condensed milk can contain more sugar than an entire cookie. But unlike a cookie, it's easy to pour 2 or 3 spoonfuls into tea or drizzle over fruit without thinking twice. The result? A creeping weight gain that doesn't show up overnight, but quietly adds extra pressure to your hips, knees, and ankles. For a senior who's already struggled with mobility, every extra pound makes moving harder, climbing stairs more painful, and balance less secure. Now here's something most people don't realize. Sugar-laden foods like condensed milk can also mess with your collagen, the protein that keeps your skin firm, your joints cushioned, and your muscles strong. Sugar triggers a process called glycation, which basically hardens your collagen and makes it brittle. That's why seniors who consume too much sugar often notice sagging skin, stiffer joints, and muscles that don't recover as quickly. In other words, every spoonful of condensed milk doesn't just sweeten your tea, it speeds up the aging process in your entire body. But perhaps the most dangerous part is this. Condensed milk hides in recipes and traditions. It's common in coffee drinks, holiday cakes, puddings, or cultural sweets that many seniors grew up with. So it feels harmless, even nostalgic. Yet nostalgia doesn't protect your heart from clogged arteries, or your bones from thinning, or your joints from swelling. And the guilt sets in when you realize you're not just indulging in a little sweetness, you're feeding the very inflammation that makes standing up, walking, or bending down harder with each passing year. So if you've got a can of condensed milk sitting in your cupboard, I'll be blunt. It's not a treat anymore. It's a trap. It steals from your future mobility one spoonful at a time. And that's why it takes the number 3 spot on our list of worst milk seniors should never touch again. Now, if you think this was bad, wait until you see what's waiting at number 2. Because this next milk is one almost every household has, and most seniors drink it daily without realizing the damage. This one shocks a lot of seniors, because for decades doctors and commercials told us fat-free meant healthy. You've probably seen it yourself, the brightly labeled carton, proudly declaring skim or 0% fat, almost as if drinking it makes you virtuous. But here's the truth. Fat-free milk is one of the most misleading products you can put into your body after 60. Here's why. Your body needs healthy fats to absorb certain vitamins and minerals, especially calcium and vitamin D, the very nutrients you drink milk for in the first place. Without fat, your body struggles to absorb these nutrients properly. So when you sip a glass of skim milk, thinking it's strengthening your bones, much of that calcium passes right through you and used. It's like pouring water into a cracked glass. You're holding it, but you're not keeping it. Now let's talk about satiety, the feeling of being full. When milk is stripped of fat, it loses one of the key nutrients that keeps you satisfied. That means a glass of skim milk won't actually curb your hunger. Instead, your body is left craving more, leading you to snack unnecessarily. For seniors trying to manage their weight or avoid overeating, this is a hidden disaster. But the problems go deeper. Skim milk is often heavily processed to strip out its natural fats, and in the process, it loses much of its flavor. To make it palatable, manufacturers sometimes add powdered milk solids. These can contain oxidized cholesterol, something that contributes to arterial plaque buildup and increases the risk of heart disease. Think about that for a second. You switch to skim milk to protect your heart, but the hidden oxidized cholesterol may be quietly working against it. And here's the most ironic part. Multiple long-term studies have shown that people who consume full-fat dairy actually have better weight control and lower risk of metabolic syndrome than those who stick with low-fat or fat-free options. Why? Because the fat in milk isn't your enemy. It's a nutrient that helps regulate hormones, keeps you fuller longer, and supports brain health. For seniors, that's critical, because hormonal shifts and muscle loss already put you at a disadvantage. Take away the fat, and you remove one of the few allies your body still has. Let's also not ignore taste and psychology. Drinking fat-free milk feels unsatisfying. You end up pouring bigger glasses or pairing it with sugary cereals or cookies just to feel satisfied. It's a vicious cycle. The milk meant to keep you healthy pushes you toward choices that weaken your joints, spike your blood sugar, and add extra pounds. And once again, your bones, the very reason many seniors drink milk in the first place, don't get the nutrients they desperately need. Here's the part that stings the most. Many seniors who drink skim milk daily do so because they think they're being good. They've been conditioned to feel guilty about fat, so they punish themselves with a product that offers less nourishment and more risk. But guilt doesn't build bones. Strength does. And skim milk simply doesn't deliver it. So there's a carton of fat-free milk in your fridge right now. Understand this. Every glass may be silently robbing your bones of strength and your body of satisfaction. That's why it deserves the number 2 spot on our list. But as bad as skim milk is, there's one type of milk that's even more dangerous. The one that sits in almost every supermarket cooler. The one seniors pour into their coffee every morning without realizing it's a ticking time bomb. And that's coming up next at number 1. This is the one that will shock many people. The milk most seniors grew up with, the one poured into cereal, stirred into coffee, and handed to children with the promise of strong bones, has quietly become one of the most dangerous choices you can make after 60. I'm talking about conventional, store-bought cow's milk from industrial dairy farms. On the surface, it looks harmless, white cold, familiar, but dig beneath the surface, and you'll see why this everyday staple deserves the #1 spot on our worst list. First, let's talk about hormones and antibiotics. Industrial dairy cows are often treated with synthetic hormones to boost milk production. These hormones don't just disappear when the milk is bottled. They end up in your glass. For seniors, this means additional hormonal disruption in a body that's already struggling with age-related shifts. Excess hormones and increased inflammation contribute to weight gain around the belly, and in some studies, have even been linked to higher risks of hormone-sensitive cancers. Add to that the routine use of antibiotics in factory farming, and you have another silent threat: antibiotic residues that alter your gut health. And a disrupted gut doesn't just cause digestion problems. It also affects your immune system and your body's ability to absorb critical nutrients like calcium and magnesium. Second, there's the issue of lactose intolerance. Even if you've tolerated milk most of your life, after age 60 your body produces far less lactase, the enzyme that breaks down lactose, the sugar in milk. That's why so many seniors quietly suffer bloating, gas, cramps, or diarrhea after drinking milk, even though they never connect the dots. But here's the hidden danger. This isn't just discomfort. Chronic digestive irritation means your gut lining weakens, your nutrient absorption drops, and your body is left starved of the very calcium and protein you think you're drinking milk for. Third, conventional cow's milk often comes from cows fed on genetically modified corn and soy instead of natural grass. This changes the nutrient profile of the milk itself, reducing the levels of anti-inflammatory omega-3 fats and increasing inflammatory omega excess. That imbalance fuels swelling in your joints, stiffness in your muscles, and a body that feels older than it should. Imagine pouring a glass of milk thinking it's giving you strength, when in reality it's feeding the fire of inflammation inside your body. And then comes the most heartbreaking part: fractures. Studies have shown that countries with the highest milk consumption don't have the lowest fracture rates. In fact, some have higher fracture risks. Why? Because the problem isn't the calcium alone. It's the quality of the milk, how your body absorbs it, and whether that milk is working with your body or against it. Conventional milk often falls squarely in the against category. Now here's the guilt trip reality. Many seniors keep drinking conventional cow's milk out of habit. It feels safe. It feels familiar. But every glass may be slowly undermining their independence, making their bones weaker, their digestion harder, and their joints stiffer. And if you're giving the same milk to your grandchildren, you're unknowingly passing down the same risks to them. That's a legacy none of us want. That's why conventional cow's milk earns the #1 spot on this list. It's not just outdated, it's dangerous. But here's the good news. For every bad milk, there's a better option. And now that we've uncovered the 4 worst offenders, it's time to turn the page and discover the 4 best milk seniors should be drinking daily. The ones that truly protect your bones, soothe your joints, and support your muscles naturally. After tearing down the worst offenders, let's start building you back up with one of the most underrated yet powerful alternatives: goat's milk. At first, it may sound unusual. After all, most of us grew up with cow's milk as a default. But here's the truth. Goat's milk has been consumed for centuries in Mediterranean and Middle Eastern cultures, and modern science is now showing why it deserves a permanent place in your kitchen, especially if you're over 60. The biggest advantage? Easier digestion. Unlike cow's milk, goat's milk contains less lactose, and its fat molecules are much smaller. This makes it gentler on your digestive system, No bloating, no cramping, no embarrassing gas that so many seniors quietly suffer from. For those who thought they had to give up milk altogether, goat's milk can be a second chance to enjoy the creaminess without the discomfort. But the benefits go deeper. Goat's milk is naturally rich in calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus, the holy trio for bone strength. And here's what makes it unique. It also contains a special form of bioactive peptides that may actually enhance your body's ability to absorb calcium. Translation: you're not just drinking nutrients. You're actually using them. That means stronger bones, steadier legs, and a reduced risk of falls and fractures. And let's talk about inflammation. Goat's milk is lower in a protein called A1 casein, which is commonly found in conventional cow's milk and linked to inflammation, joint pain, and gut irritation. Instead, goat's milk has mostly A2 casein, a form that is gentler, less inflammatory, and much better tolerated by sensitive stomachs. This is a huge win for seniors battling arthritis or lingering stiffness. Imagine sipping a warm cup of goat's milk at night and waking up without the morning joint aches you thought were just part of aging. Goat's milk also offers a surprising boost for muscle health. It contains slightly more protein per serving than cow's milk, including all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to rebuild and maintain muscle. This is critical after 60, when muscle naturally begins to shrink. Every ounce of protein matters, and goat's milk delivers it in a form your body can actually digest and use. But perhaps the most overlooked benefit is its gut health support. Goat's milk contains oligosaccharides, natural compounds that act like prebiotics, feeding the good bacteria in your gut. A healthier gut means better immunity, less inflammation, and improved nutrient absorption. For seniors, that's a triple win. Fewer colds, stronger bones, and smoother digestion. Now, here's the emotional part. Most seniors stick with conventional milk out of habit. They feel guilty switching, as if they're betraying the tradition they grew up with. But here's the truth. Holding on to the old way of doing things doesn't make you strong. It keeps you stuck. Goat's milk might feel like an unfamiliar choice, but in reality, it's a return to something ancient, something natural, something that has supported human health for thousands of years. So, if you're serious about protecting your bones, soothing your joints, and keeping your muscles strong, it's time to give goat's milk a chance. It may not be the milk you grew up with, but it could be the milk that helps you grow older with dignity, strength, and independence. That's why goat's milk earns its place as the number 4 best milk you should be drinking after 60. And what's next on the list will surprise you even more, because it's a plant-based milk that many people dismiss as trendy, but science shows it could be a game changer for seniors. Now that we've talked about goat's milk, let's move to a plant-based option that has exploded in popularity, but often gets dismissed as just a trend. The truth? When chosen correctly, unsweetened, fortified almond milk can be a real lifeline for seniors over 60. Here's why. Almond milk is naturally low in calories and sugar, especially when you choose the unsweetened version. This alone makes it a powerful tool for seniors struggling with weight gain, blood sugar control, or diabetes management. Unlike flavored cow's milk or condensed milk, which flood your system with sugar, almond milk gives you a creamy, satisfying drink without the metabolic roller coaster. But the real magic comes from the fact that most quality almond milks are fortified with calcium and vitamin D. These are the 2 nutrients seniors need most desperately to keep bones strong and reduce fracture risk. And because almond milk doesn't contain lactose, your body absorbs those nutrients without the digestive distress so many seniors experience with cow's milk. Think about it. Instead of bloating and cramps, you're actually nourishing your skeleton in a way your body can handle. Now, almonds themselves are nutritional powerhouses, and some of that benefit carries into almond milk. It contains small but valuable amounts of vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that protects your cells from oxidative stress. For seniors, that means less damage to joints, muscles, and even skin. In fact, vitamin E has been linked to better circulation, stronger immunity, and reduced risk of cognitive decline. So every glass of almond milk isn't just helping your bones. It's also supporting your memory and overall vitality. Another overlooked benefit? Almond milk is naturally cholesterol-free and very low in saturated fat. That means it supports heart health, keeping arteries clear and reducing the burden on your cardiovascular system. Since heart disease remains one of the biggest risks after 60, every small choice matters. Switching your coffee creamer or cereal milk to almond milk could be a quiet but powerful way to protect your heart every single day. Now let's address a common myth. Some people dismiss almond milk as watered down or empty. That's only true if you're choosing poor quality brands or sweetened versions. The key is to go for unsweetened, fortified almond milk. Ideally one with at least 25 to 30% of your daily calcium needs and added vitamin D. With that, you're getting a bone-strengthening, heart-protecting, low-calorie option that is far superior to skim milk or flavored milk. And here's the part that might tug at you emotionally. Many seniors cling to regular milk because it feels comforting, familiar. But at what cost? If that comfort is stealing your mobility, stiffening your joints, and draining your energy, then it's not really comfort at all. It's a silent thief. Choosing almond milk isn't about chasing a fad. It's about breaking free from a tradition that no longer serves your health. Imagine this. You pour almond milk into your morning coffee. It tastes smooth and creamy. Your stomach feels fine. And instead of worrying about bloating or joint pain, you move through your day lighter, stronger, and more confident. That's the kind of daily change that stacks up into years of independence and strength. And that's why unsweetened, fortified almond milk earns the number 3 spot on this list. But stay with me, because number 2 is another plant-based option that goes even further. It's not just about bone health, but also muscle protection and brain power after 60. If almond milk shines for bone support and light digestion, then soy milk steps in as a powerhouse for seniors who want to preserve their muscles, protect their bones, and even balance their hormones after 60. Soy milk is one of the few plant-based milks that naturally matches cow's milk in protein content. A single cup can deliver 7 to 8 grams of protein, the same as dairy. This is critical because after 60, muscle loss accelerates at a rate of about 1% per year unless you fight it with high-quality protein. And unlike some fad milks made mostly of water and fillers, soy milk provides the amino acids your body actually needs to maintain and rebuild muscle. Think of it as a daily shield against frailty and weakness. But soy milk isn't just about muscles. It's also rich in isoflavones, natural plant compounds that act as phytoestrogens. Don't let the name scare you. These compounds can actually help balance hormones in older adults, particularly postmenopausal women, who often suffer accelerated bone loss due to declining estrogen. Studies have shown that isoflavones can improve bone density and reduce the risk of fractures. For men, these compounds can support cardiovascular health and lower inflammation without interfering with testosterone in any harmful way. Now, let's talk about calcium and vitamin D. Like almond milk, most commercial soy milks are fortified with both, making them powerful allies against osteoporosis. The difference is that soy milk also gives you protein, something almond milk lacks in significant amounts. That means when you drink soy milk, you're hitting both sides of the aging battle: bone protection and muscle preservation. What about heart health? Soy protein has been shown in multiple clinical trials to lower LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol that clogs arteries. Replacing even a portion of your cow's milk with soy milk can support healthier blood vessels, reduce your risk of heart attacks, and keep circulation strong. And good circulation means more oxygen to your muscles and brain, which translates into more energy and clearer thinking. Now, Some people raise concerns about soy, often due to myths that it causes hormonal issues. But modern science has largely debunked these fears. In fact, countries like Japan, where soy foods and drinks are consumed daily, have some of the lowest rates of fractures, heart disease, and age-related decline. The problem isn't soy. It's the processed junk we often replace it with in the West. For seniors struggling with lactose intolerance, soy milk is also a lifesaver. No cramps, no bloating, no gas, just smooth digestion and nutrient absorption. That means the calcium and protein you drink are actually going where they need to, into your bones and muscles, instead of down the drain with digestive discomfort. Here's the emotional truth. Many seniors cling to cow's milk because it feels safe, even though it makes them weak and inflamed. Soy milk, on the other hand, feels different or new, so they avoid it. But ask yourself this. Do you want to stick with what's familiar, even if it leaves you fragile? Or do you want to embrace what works, even if it means breaking an old habit? Because here's the reality. Soy milk has the power to help you walk longer, lift yourself up more easily, and keep your independence well into your 70s and 80s. That's not a fad. That's survival. And that's why soy milk earns the number 2 spot on this list. But if you thought this was the best milk seniors could drink, wait until you hear number 1. This last option doesn't just support your bones and muscles. It actively reduces inflammation, protects your heart, and may even help you age more gracefully than you ever thought possible. If cow's milk has been on your table your whole life, goat's milk may feel unfamiliar, maybe even strange. But here's the truth. Goat's milk might just be the most senior-friendly milk on earth, and the one your grandparents and great-grandparents likely drank long before supermarket cartons took over. Why is goat's milk so special? Let's start with digestibility. Unlike cow's milk, which has larger fat globules and a different protein structure that can cause bloating, indigestion, and even inflammation, goat's milk has smaller fat molecules and a protein that's closer to human breast milk. That means it's far easier for your stomach and intestines to handle, even if you've had trouble with milk in the past. Seniors over 60, who often develop lactose intolerance or digestive sensitivity, find goat's milk gentler and less likely to trigger gas, cramps, or diarrhea. But here's the secret power: nutrient absorption. Goat's milk is rich in medium-chain fatty acids, the same heart-healthy fats found in coconut oil, that are rapidly absorbed and used for energy. Instead of making you sluggish, goat's milk provides a quick, sustained energy source that supports muscle strength and prevents fatigue. Studies have shown that these fats also improve cholesterol balance, lowering LDL while boosting HDL. Now, let's talk about bone and joint strength, the real battle after 60. Goat's milk has higher bioavailable calcium, phosphorus, and magnesium than cow's milk, meaning your body can actually use the minerals instead of flushing them out. One clinical trial even found that seniors who replaced cow's milk with goat's milk showed improved calcium retention and stronger bone density scores. If osteoporosis or frail bones worry you, this milk is like a safety net. And it doesn't stop there. Goat's milk is rich in selenium and zinc, 2 minerals tied to immune defense and healthy skin aging. Selenium in particular is a rare mineral that helps protect cells from oxidative stress, which accelerates aging, joint damage, and memory decline. Here's the kicker. Goat's milk has been used for centuries in Mediterranean and Middle Eastern cultures as a longevity food. People in these regions, many of whom live into their 90s with active, pain-free lives, didn't have access to mass-produced cow's milk. They thrived on goat's milk, yogurt, and cheese. So, if you've been feeling like milk is your enemy, causing bloating, joint stiffness, or making you gain belly fat, switching to goat's milk could be the turning point. Imagine being able to enjoy your morning cereal or evening warm drink without discomfort, while actually protecting your bones, strengthening your muscles, and fueling your body with clean energy. And here's a thought that might sting a little. Many seniors only discover goat's milk when it's too late, after fractures, after arthritis has already stolen mobility, or after years of stomach upset they thought was just normal aging. Don't wait until your body forces you to change. Give yourself the gift of strength and comfort now. So let's recap. We've seen the 4 worst milks that quietly destroy your digestion, inflame your joints, and strip away bone strength. And we've uncovered the 4 best milks. Hidden allies that protect your bones, soothe your stomach, boost your muscles, and even fight off aging itself. But here's the truth. This knowledge is only powerful if you act on it. If you keep pouring the wrong milk into your glass every morning, all the calcium pills in the world won't save you. Yet by making one small swap, by choosing milks like goat's milk instead of processed chemical-laden cartons, you're giving yourself a daily dose of healing. Now, I need to ask you something. If this video disappears tomorrow, would you notice? Every single video we create here takes us over 30 hours. No sponsor, no big studio, no million-dollar equipment. Just us digging through medical studies, cross-checking research, and crafting it into something real, something seniors like you can actually use. If this video opened your eyes, if you learned something your doctor never told you, if you felt even a spark of, yes, I can get stronger again, don't just close this tab. Don't be a silent viewer. Be the reason we're still here tomorrow. Subscribe. And more than that, be the reason another senior finds this life-changing knowledge too, right now. There's someone out there drinking the wrong milk, struggling with aching bones or a bloated belly, who desperately needs this message. You can help them by doing something so simple. Tap the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. That's how YouTube shows this to more seniors, how this message travels beyond you to the people who need it most. So the question is, will you keep the secret to yourself, or will you be the one who passes it on? The choice is yours. But I hope you'll join our community of over 200,000 seniors who decided not to suffer in silence. Hit subscribe, hit like, and let's walk this journey of strength, comfort, and longevity together. Because you deserve more than milk that hurts you. You deserve milk that heals.